Okay, why does Eternals suck balls?
Yes.
It's too long. Fundamentally, it's too long. It's too much, and there's no real direction.
That's something I'd heard is like, what's the goal almost of it? And like people are like,
well, the first problem and again, this was just a decision, is deviants, right? So the main villain, it's been narrowed down to just like one deviant or like a handful of deviants that are left. Whereas in the comics and that, the deviants are like their own race.
oh, okay.
And then the Eternals are like basically just perfect deviants. So they're like perfect godlike beings, whereas deviants are like mutations. So they're all deformed and sort of, they've got powers, but they're all kind of horrible monsters. Whereas in this new deviant is like become the perfect being, and that there's that whole betrayal within the Eternals themselves, which doesn't fit. It didn't fit at all. Having, it's confusing enough trying to introduce these 9 different powered superheroes.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
like, for one film, 9 is a lot.
And I can't remember all their names. I'm going to say it's Sersi Ikaris, Speedy, Angelina Jolie,
Jon Snow,
totally not Wong, and that's I mean, it's bad. There's this guy, Gilgamesh, that was his name. Plus you had Black Knight in there. You had Jon Snow, Black Knight. It was like, fuck me. And what's really annoying is Jon Snow's barely in it.
Yeah.
He comes and goes, like, and that's almost inexcusable.
Is that character popular in the comics or some shit?
Black Knight's, he's one of the original Avengers, but it was like, why'd you have him here?
Black Knight?
Black Knight, yeah.
No, he isn't. Original Avengers?
Maybe not original Avengers, but he's like in the main Avengers lineup with
first sort of proper team, like when Captain America became leader.
Maybe not when Captain America's in it, but definitely at the stage where they've got a rotating roster.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So like, who's fucking wings on his feet?
Wings on his feet.
You know, Atlantis. What's his name?
Oh, Namor.
Totally not Aquaman.
Namor.
Aye. When Namor's kind of in the team.
The first mutant, even though he's totally not really a mutant. He's half Atlantean. Like, how's he a mutant?
Well, again.
Mutants are like.
Have you seen Black Panther 2?
No.
Aye, well, that's Black Panther 2 is what establishes that he's a mutant now.
But how though?
I don't know.
Because now they own Fox, so they have the rights to the word mutant, so they can call him a mutant.
Yeah, but he's not. He never
yeah,
was.
This is what I'm saying though. Is like that always annoyed me because how's he a mutant?
It doesn't make that. I don't think it would. I'm not going to say it ruined Black Panther 2, but it was something I picked up on in Black Panther 2 that was like, no, he isn't. He's not a mutant.
But it's it comes from the comics. It's comic accurate. So.
I don't think it's something that the general public will be bothered about. But for someone who actually follows it, you're kind of like, well, that's not what he is. So shut it.
Well, but that is what they refer to him as.
Yeah.
In the comics.
In the movie.
And no, in the comics as well.
In the comics they refer to him.
Yeah. He was Namor, like the first mutant, and that's what I'm saying. Is it always annoyed me because he isn't a mutant.
Oh, maybe we're both in the wrong then. Should just shut up.
Well, no, because he's half Atlantean.
Well,
half human, the same as Aquaman.
It's weird in the movie. In Black Panther 2, he's like, what was it again? It was some weird shaman magic thing where they ate a plant and it was filled with vibranium or some bullshit. I don't fucking know.
They just had to include vibranium, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, well, their whole house or whatever is on a fucking vibranium deposit or some shit. It's tenuous at best. The whole connection. I mean, I obviously they had to do what they had to do because whatchamacallit's dead now. Maybe.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I think once I obviously because Chadwick Boseman wasn't alive anymore. I actually think they did a good job. They go with the comic book, like Shuri becomes the Black Panther, which I think some people are like, oh, it's too obvious, and I was like, oh, it's fine. You know, it's obvious because it's the right decision.
Yeah, sometimes that is the case. To be fair,
You had Riri Williams.
It's like if Batman died and Robin became the new Batman. Like it's obvious because it makes sense.
Because he should. Yeah. It's fine to do that. That's good. I'd rather they do that than they tried to make like Black Panther's wife. You know, the next Black Panther. That would have just been retarded.
John Leguizamo shows up and he's the next.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like no. I mean, they kind.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Jack.
I guess they kind of drag the mystery out a wee bit about who's going to take it over, but you kind of like, well, it should be Shuri.
Yeah.
Shuri in the comics, and I mean, there's really no one else.
Totally just why not?
But I mean, there's an interesting scene where she goes into the spirit realm when she eats the Black Panther fruit or whatever. The Black Panther, I don't know, pear or it's whatever to get the superpowers. And in the spirit realm, I actually thought it was quite clever the way they dealt with this. Michael B. Jordan's there.
Right.
I wondered if they would bring back, you know, like whatchamacallit, Black Panther's dad. Obviously, they can't bring back Chadwick Boseman because he's like not alive anymore. But I actually thought it was quite a clever choice putting him in. And she's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And he's like, "Well, I was the last Black Panther." And I was like, "Shit, you're right." I mean, I kind of because technically, and I'll have to rewatch Black Panther to know if this is totally right. I'm sure when he burns the flower, he's the latest Black Panther. So I was kind of like, I didn't expect that. And it dealt with, you know, not the problem, but it dealt with Chadwick Boseman not being alive anymore.
Because, I mean, they could have just, what's the... I've heard the term deepfake, but I don't know if that's the right word.
No, I think you're right.
You replace, like, the...
CG
but maybe some people would have been like, that's disrespectful or something. I don't know. I get why they wouldn't do it, but yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do it. I'm glad they paid him a really like nice tribute in the movie. It's it's quite emotional, and I think it was a fitting tribute for the character he played and kind of continuing the universe. And at the end of it, they sort of go, "Oh, look, his son is still alive." So like they introduce you to the character. Fuck off! Get away from me. Of his son. Well, that was kind of cool, I guess. I'm trying to think what else happens. I mean, Black Panther 2 is really so simple as... I know we started talking about Eternals, but such a fucking boring movie. I ended up just talking about Black Panther 2. It pretty much just ends up in a fight between Shuri and Namor. That's all it really comes down to.
Yeah, but just to finish my thought... I know that it's comic accurate, but how is Nemoy a mutant? He's half Atlantean and half human. That's just like a thing of its own.
Well, in this he isn't. He's it's not pagan, it's race wiped out.
Atlantean?
No, ancient civilization, Aztec, I want to say.
Atlantean?
No, Aztec. I mean... Maybe he was Atlantean as well, but in this it was just they were a load of Aztecs, prayed to the Aztec god, ate the vibranium plant, and turned blue and grew lungs. That was it. And he's a mutation because he's not bright blue or whatever. He can actually, and his weird wing feet don't really work. I mean, they never really worked.
He can. I'm sure he can fly in the comics.
Yeah, he can fly. Yeah, he can fly with them. But it never worked for me.
He's I don't know if he still is, but he became an X-Man for a while.
Did he? Oh.
Yeah, he joined the X-Men.
Well, you got Deadpool 3, so I wonder if they're going to deal with that. There's a few last week bits there. Hoover up.
Deadpool's going to make so many jokes, I reckon, about the whole like, oh, now that we can say mutant and stuff like that. And maybe Hugh Jackman will be like, what are you talking about? We could always say that, or I don't know.
Aye. Hugh Jackman's going to have to say some stuff about being a mutant. He is a mutant. Boy takes steroids.
Aye, 100%.
But just like with Eternals, so.
Who's this?
So you've got a random betrayal thrown in there.
I'm missing one piece. Do you see?
Yeah, I see. I do see.
No, but like,
I don't see it. I do not see it. It must be where we get our ladder as well. Oh, there we go. I see it. I see it. It's behind that glass. Over there.
Oh.
But then how do you get it? Can you just smash that? Oh, I can break
smash it with the glass.
Smash it. There we go. Oh, they're all just hiding there. I mean, it's boring, Eternals, right? But it's not just that. It's like the story throws in a betrayal of one of the Eternals. So he's trying to wipe out like the rest of the Eternals, I guess. But the Eternals themselves are like freaking copies, created by the Celestials. So the Celestials are basically like the pure gods in the Marvel universe, and they need like humans to basically feed the Earth so that they can grow another Celestial out of the Earth.
Aye.
And because of the blip in Avengers Endgame, like too many people were like died or some shit. Again, I can't remember why it was important now, but so they basically brought the people. They bringing the people back is like the situation we're at now where we can have the Celestial be born, and I can't remember why this guy Ikaris is betrayed. Betrayed, the other Eternals, because he's just kind of like, I can't remember if he's for having the Celestial arrive or against. Who fucking knows? I assume he's for, and the rest of the Celestials are against, because they're like, oh, we protected humanity since the beginning. We don't want.
Yeah, presumably the Celestial would like eat us or some shit.
Yeah. So a Celestial does start to come out of the Earth, but fucking with the power of friendship or whatever bullshit, they managed to stop it. The only one trying to stop them is Ikaris, and Ikaris is basically Superman.
Right.
So he's got laser vision and he can fly and he's strong. So he's the one who betrays them. Spoiler alert. Which, let's say you're throwing so much shit in a 3-hour movie, and there's the second act of the movie is they go to this fucking camp. So I mean, it starts out as a bringing the bands back together kind of story, because they're not all together, and so I mean that's fine. You get a bit of an introduction to each one. But like I say, there's a whole second act part where they go to find one of the Eternals, but he's just like, I don't want to go, and they all just kind of go, all right, we'll just sort of hang here then, and you're like, what is actually happening? And I swear it's just like 20 minutes of the movie where fuck all happens. And I know that someone might argue, oh, but we're establishing character in those scenes, but it's like, no mate, it's like the Eternals have nothing to fucking say to each other. Despite the fact they were this big family and like lived together for thousands of years, they've got fuck all.
Danny Stunner first, maybe?
I think so, maybe Batarang. Come here. Have some of that. Kick the shit out of you, Harley Quinn. Aye, get between her. Just the two of us. Fucking pin her in.
Nah, there must be something like that actually do. Who's this? Here.
No.
Oh, that's Kumish.
You'd have thought the Eternals would have some pretty good chat, but honestly, it's 20 minutes of nothing. Then the mad deviant appears. They fight it. It kills one of them and then absorbs his power. And that's when you kind of realise that like for years they've kicked the shit out of deviants, and this one is like kind of a step above the rest. But aye, then he leaves after he kind of like beats one of them, and just rather than fucking finishing the job, he just kind of leaves.
Oh, she's dizzy. Hit her.
I don't know how we did that.
I think we just chase her for long enough. She gets dizzy.
Oh, okay. Ah, that's probably it then. Ah, you're right. That is it.
Stupid bitch.
And yeah, let's say this is because it's a 3-hour movie. Like fuck me, nothing happens in this movie in 3 hours.
Yeah, in that sense.
I mean, they go back to the spaceship, and like I said, if you want a good story, read the Neil Gaiman comic of Eternals. So by comparison, right? They all think they're human in his story, which is good because it gives you the chance to kind of get to know them in a normal setting, because they're kind of almost like sleeper cell agents in his story. where they don't know they're Eternals, and until they've kind of get attacked or they're in a stressful situation, and then they're sort of their powers awaken. And Ikaris is the first one to kind of wake up. So he's in a car accident or something, and he wakes up and he realizes he's got Superman's strength and whatever, and his mission is to go and wake up the others because his return is because of deviants have kind of come back. And they serve like Celestials to keep the deviant population under control. That's kind of their whole deal. That's who they fight. And the deviants are like mainline villains. In one story I was reading recently, I think it was like a weird compilation book. It's like, oh, get back here. One of the deviant presidents actually has political representation. So like, you know how Wakanda's like a recognised state at like the UN?
Yeah.
It's like the fucking deviants are like in the UN, along with Atlantis and whoever else. And you're like, that's fucking random, but whatever. This guy was like the mayor of Deviantville, and you're like, well, why did they pick such a boring option? They're like, well, there's only one deviant left. They kill him in the end, so no more deviants. You're like, oh, but the deviants were like their main villains. And at the end, they're all kind of kidnapped by the Celestial, who's like, oh, I made you, so you can all come with me, because you've all been bad. You didn't let the new Celestial be born.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. He just flies away with them. And meanwhile, Black Knight, who's done nothing the whole movie, is like, no, because he loves one of them.
Right.
He loves Sersi or whatever. He's like, no, Sersi, come back. And that's it.
I thought you were gonna say he does like he's done nothing the whole film, but he does like the Spock. What's Spock's? Leonard Nemoy. There's the Leonard Nemoy thing in The Simpsons where it's like, well, my job was done. What are you talking about? You didn't do anything. Deny. He just vanishes.
But I mean, he's in the post-creds with Blade holding the his Doom sword or whatever.
Oh, with Blade. Ooh, Blade getting a film, or is that a TV show?
Movie.
Oh, is it?
It's not Wesley Snipes though.
Nah, I know. But, I mean, Wesley Snipes will be like 50 now or something.
It could still be a Blade.
Aye, but is he not in jail as well?
No, he's out of jail now.
What did he get the jail for? I think it was tax
evasion. Aye.
Rich people crimes.
Yeah, exactly. But I say it's pretty worrying with there isn't a best part of Eternals. That's the problem. As I was about to say, the best part is the end credits.
Yeah.
And that's probably true, but I was kind of meaning like the post credits. Because at least for the post credits, you feel like Black Knight's coming back. Well, I say because it's Jon Snow, I'm sort of like, well, he's going to come back with his full Night Watch outfit on, and
a direwolf.
Yeah, it's like unless he comes back like that, I don't really care.